Welcome to A Year in the Bible with Daily Grace. The Bible tells one big story of redemption, and we want to spend 5 minutes every day journeying through the Bible from start to finish and exploring how all of it points to Jesus.
Hey everyone, welcome back to A Year in the Bible with Daily Grace. My name is Aubrey Coleman, one of the hosts for the podcast, and today we'll be looking at Ezekiel chapter 25 through 27. Chapter 25 enters into the second section of the book of Ezekiel. The first half, chapters 1 through 24, contained warning about God's judgment on Israel's sin. It ended with a vision of King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon laying siege on Jerusalem. Now we enter into a section that speaks to the time when fugitives made their way from Jerusalem to Babylon. The enemies of Israel loved to watch them fall to the Babylonians. Ammon, Moab, Edom, and Philistia all looked on them with joy and planned to take possession of the land. Each nation was involved in the fall of Israel. Tyre rejoiced in the destruction and judgment of Israel too. They gave no help or aid, but simply relished in their fall. They gloried in the absence of their trading competitor and gloated in the profit they would gain. But Tyre is given special attention in the next chapters. God pronounces his judgment on them to be humiliated by other nations. We see throughout Scripture that God opposes the proud. The first sin grew out of pride that Adam and Eve knew better than God. Therefore they disobeyed him and fell to sin. The rest of humanity fell with them. Pride goes before the fall, and Ezekiel gives a picture of the fallen self-glory of Tyre. They are deceived by their wealth and arrogance, and they will receive judgment from God as an example to the entire world. The kings of that time could not imagine such a city could fall, but no person or nation can truly assure its own security and prosperity. Tyre boasted of its abundance and success. They had many trading partners, and their load of goods became so great that they sunk themselves in the sea. They had brought wealth and fortune to many, but the nations surrounding them would shudder at their demise. Tyre's abundance would crumble, and they would be no more. Tyre attributed everything to themselves. They claimed their own power and success and wealth, but when the time came to acknowledge God, they did not. They continued to look at their own gain and boast in their own name, but even they could not save themselves from ruin. The surrounding nations were laughing at Israel. As a response, God's heart turned to defensive love for his people, and he proclaimed judgment on them too. We continue to see God's defending love throughout Scripture, all the way to the birth of Jesus Christ, who would come with a message of redemption to call his people back to himself. Jesus would endure the temptations of Satan in the wilderness to succeed where God's people failed. At the cross of Christ, God takes the sword of his wrath and aims it at his own Son in order to save his people. Such love should shake us to our core and change us. We simply cannot remain as we are once we come to the truth and the knowledge of God's astounding love for us. He displayed it in the story of Israel, and he displays it in our stories too. Thanks so much for joining us today. Be sure to follow along on our Instagram pages at Daily Grace Podcast and at The Daily Grace Co. And check out our website, www.thedailygraceco.com. You can always find additional resources to accompany the podcast at dailygracepodcast.com. If you enjoyed today's episode and you're excited to join us again tomorrow, we would love for you to take a moment to leave a rating or review on iTunes to help more people find out about our show. Thank you so much, and we look forward to chatting again with you tomorrow.